Hi, let's have a quick look at the Bravia entry-level product for 2009. We're going to look at the L5000 series, the S, and the V. Starting with the Bravia L series, this is the 720p product. Really nice styling in the entry level with a lot of great features, including Bravia Sync and 24p compatibility. With 3 HDMI inputs, someone hooks up their PS3, they're going to be able to watch movies full 24p, each frame exactly as it was intended. And with Bravia Sync, you can do all kinds of cool things, which we'll show you in just a second. With the picture-in-picture, if you're using this in a small situation, a 26-inch, maybe using it as a computer monitor and your TV, you can be using it as a computer monitor with the PC input, and then you have the picture-in-picture showing you some TV while you're working away. So a nice little feature there. As well, there's eco settings for idle TV standby and power saving settings that reduce the brightness of the set so that you're using a little bit less power, all fully adjustable by the user. Bravia Sync works over HDMI with compatible Bravia Sync devices. Just look for the logos on both boxes. Now in this case, we've sent a command to the Blu-ray player to play. It'll switch the audio on the receiver or the home theater to the right input. It will set the video to the right input, and then you can watch everything just with a touch of a button. You hit power, everything powers off. In the same way with the Bravia Sync compatible camcorder, high def goes right through your HDMI, and on the screen you see the exact same menus that you have on the touch screen on the camcorder. Using your same TV remote, you can control everything, move through the clips, do everything you can do on the camera, and shut it all off. Bravia Sync is on these products. In addition, photo frames and other products will continue to be added to the Bravia Sync lineup. The next model in the lineup is the Bravia S series. This is a full HD 1080 panel with the Bravia Engine 2, which gives you really great picture processing on all your different inputs. Advanced Contrast Enhancer gives you a much deeper, richer picture. And again, it has the Bravia Sync and the Eco settings. So we're moving up to a full HD panel with the Bravia engine, 32 to 52 inch sizes. The full HD is important, and we'll just show you a little clip here to give you an idea of why that is. Full HD 1080p panels have more resolution. You can see greater detail, like the detail on the windows in this picture here, and just the overall presence and depth of the image is greater. When you're first looking at high definition, you may think, wow, WXGA is good enough, but as you own and watch your high definition TV, and especially watching Blu-ray content, the 1080p difference is something that you can see, and very quickly you'll never want to be without. Now the panel's important, but how you drive the panel will make the ultimate difference to whether that panel looks great or it looks okay. The Bravia Engine 2 is the technology Sony has that allows us to really crank up that image quality with all sorts of inputs. If you look at these examples here, under the arch of the bridge, we've got a lot of detail and sharpness in those dark areas. They don't just get crushed out and lost in detail. So things like also on this picture here, the tile detail and the color detail, those are enhanced and preserved with the Bravia Engine 2. How you run your panel is as important as the panel itself. One of the other ways of making the picture look great is the Advanced Contrast Enhancer. This allows us to actually change the backlighting brightness depending on whether it's a bright scene or a dark screen to enhance the contrast. So we'll actually bring the brightness down to get a darker black, and we'll open up all the pixels where it's highlighted so that we maintain those bright images on the screen even though we've reduced the backlight. This is the Bravia Engine 2 working in concert with the Advanced Contrast Enhancer to give you a performance beyond what you would expect that panel to normally give you. With the Favorites button, it allows you to pick all kinds of different content and put it right in a one-touch environment. So maybe you have a game input and a couple favorite channels and pictures, this kind of thing you want to set up. You can access that right on the Favorites bar. Finally, we have the V series. We add motion flow 120 Hz to our package here, as well as a USB photo viewer, 40, 46, and 52 inch sizes. Now what's really important about the motion flow is with the Bravia, we have adding a frame, a new frame, an entirely new frame between each image. So we have our original images, and something will move. If you think of a soccer ball, it's going to move when someone kicks it. A soccer player is kicking that at 50 or 60 miles an hour. It can move a whole foot in the fraction of a second that we're going to show on the screen. So as a result, sometimes it's blurred in the source. To make it look better, we'll actually sharpen it using image blur reduction to make the image sharper and smoother in our 120 Hz. So let's have a look at a little video to see what that's like. IB, or image blur reduction, is a key technology for getting better 120 Hz performance. So as you can see in these two images, the original image is slightly blurred because it actually moves during the frame. By taking out some of that motion blur before we add the intermediate frames on 120 Hz, we have, instead of a blurry image, we have a nice sharp image, and all the extra frames we create in 120 Hz are sharper as well. This results in superior 120 Hz performance. Now, Sony also has a little branch called Sony Pictures, makes a bunch of hit movies that you may have seen. And when we're dealing with 24 frame content, it's really important to make sure that we maintain the exact frame rate of the 24th of a second. So what we do on 120 Hz with our 24 frame content is every 24th of a second we add 3 new frames in between. So we maintain that cadence. There's no 3-2 pull down to get it to 60 frames and then adding the 120 Hz. We're actually working with the original frames as they intended. When Motion Flow was created, we ran it by the Sony Pictures people, and they had a look at it and said, you really have to do some things differently. And that's where we get all the great technology around image blur reduction, our algorithms for figuring out the new frames, and in 24p content actually adding 3 frames between each for the maximum experience, which is as true to the original vision as possible. Finally, on the V series, we have a USB photo viewer. Very simple. You plug it into the side, the pictures start to come up right away, and then you get your image and you just flip through them with your remote and your TV. So that's it for the entry-level lineup. Be sure to do the exam and get certified, and we look forward to seeing you on Convergineer.